Racism is a huge problem across the world and is widely affecting people's lives across the globe. In San Francisco, California, racism affects the way people live and see the world. It is a very diverse city, but with diversity comes prejudice and judgment. It is inevitable to find racism in many places you go, but what's not inevitable is falling into the trap of being categorized because of racism. My stakeholders for the topic of racism are going to include Ibram X. Kendi and the Community Youth Center of San Francisco. The Community Youth Center of San Francisco is a program that helps diverse young individuals that have been through hard times or have been affected by racism to grow and have an opportunity for education, to be part of a community, and have a family. I think the Community Youth Center of San Francisco is a great stakeholder to focus on because the community in San Francisco has many young individuals that have been racially affected in many ways, and this youth center specifically gives them opportunities to grow and excel in many ways. Kendi is also a great stakeholder because I can use the materials and his stories to enhance my work and use his personal stories to show the true effect that racism has on someone. I can also use his ideas about anti-racism and how being an anti-racist is way more beneficial to yourself and your community than simply being not racist. The following film will explain why the Community Youth Center is a great resource for young individuals in San Francisco, California that have been through racism and hardships to obtain an education and be part of a community to better their future. The Community Youth Center of San Francisco supports children who have personally been affected by racism and prejudice and gives them opportunities to pursue their interests in life. As the world grows in many ways, many things seem to still remain the same. Many residents of San Francisco, California that are affected by racism are children, and this has a crucial and detrimental effect on their upbringing and self-confidence for their future. The Community Youth Center San Francisco gives kids that have been through the struggles of racism and other tragic events a chance to regain their confidence and offer them opportunities to follow their passion. An example are the community events and activities the CYCSF pushes their members to participate in. This helps uplift children and young adults to be part of many communities where they are respected and related to in many ways. The CYCSF itself is a community for the children that also helps give children a sense of belonging. This lets them know that they aren't alone in their experiences. They are understood. This is very beneficial for the mental and physical health of people, not only members of the CYCSF community. Many children feel alone nowadays because of their childhood trauma and lack of guidance throughout their early years. Being part of a community like the CYCSF can help get their life on track and set them up for a better future, and also help them be who they want to be in their lives. The Community Youth Center San Francisco holds many community activities that help negate the effects of racism on its community, and this expresses diversity and cultural heritage for everyone. Public community events encourage people from many different backgrounds and cultural heritages to interact and come together in a positive way. Many communities coming together to advocate for social justice and equal representation promotes not only anti-racism, but also social equality. It brings together many different people to form one big community rather than many separated smaller ones. Community events also show how many people can come together from different backgrounds and hold the same belief. This represents the power of coming together as people. The CYCSF, participating in these events, gives their children opportunities to grow connections with many people and encourage them that they are not alone in their experiences. Activities in these events also help find what kids are good at doing and what they enjoy. This gets them one step closer to finding their passion and purpose in life. Many people live their lives not knowing what their purpose, and the CYCSF does not want their members to fall into that category. Having people of many different ethnicities and heritages all being good at the same thing also helps negate racism, showing that anyone is capable of anything, no matter your race or ethnicity. Skin color and ethnicity does not control what a person cannot or cannot achieve in their lifetime. Encouragement and dedication is much stronger than social prejudice and opinion. As the world wants people to separate and isolate themselves based on many factors, coming together is a major priority for the CYCSF, and keeps children motivated to create a better and more hopeful future for themselves and the community. Ibram X. Kendi expresses how there are only ideas about race that are racist and ideas that are anti-racist. There are no such things as ideas that are not racist.
What I try to show in my work is that the true opposite of racist isn't not racist, it's anti-racist. And so if we understand a racist idea as any notion that suggests, let's say, a racial group is superior or inferior to another racial group, what's the opposite of racial hierarchy? It's a notion of racial equality, that the racial groups are equals.
Ideas about race can be of many things, but in reality, Ibram X. Kendi thinks that they can only fit into two categories: anti-racist and racist. An idea about race can only be negatively affecting and talking about someone based on their racial appearance, or promoting and opposing racism and racist ideas. Some people may think this is untrue, because anyone can have an idea that isn't judging or promoting. This idea is neutral, and that is correct when it comes to facts. But when we're talking about society and social justice, Kendi is completely right in many ways. He's talking about ideas about race, not ideas in general. To be called an anti-racist, you need to look at it from Kendi's perspective. Are you negatively judging someone based on their experience, which is being racist? And if you aren't, what are you doing to actually prevent that problem of racism? Just because you don't do it doesn't mean the issue is gone. And this motivational type of mindset promotes anti-racism at its fullest. This logic can be very helpful when thinking about San Francisco and how many of its residents are deeply impacted by racism every single day. If an idea about race is either racist or anti-racist, coming together as a community will help create more anti-racist ideas. The more ideas that a community can create, the more people they will have fighting against racism, injustice, and inequality. This creates a spark for change, and this is what Kendi wants his listeners and believers to fight for. The thing about change is that it is patient and strong, and it takes much time and effort from people and many communities to create a change. One person cannot invoke change to the world if no one believes in them. Coming together is the only option. Kendi says the exact opposite from racist isn't not racist, it's anti-racist. People may think that they aren't racist because they do not participate in racist ideas or actions. This is very correct, because someone who isn't racist is exactly what they are. They aren't racist. But the social aspect of this idea when it comes to making a change, simply being not racist isn't going to cut it. To be really anti-racist, you cannot simply do nothing and think that the problem of racism will go away. You have to take action, and action completely prevents the spread of racism and promotes the spread of anti-racism. Being a true anti-racist is someone who fights for opposing racism and advocates a fight against racism. Simply not being racist isn't the opposite of being racist, it's doing something about it. This is what Kendi is saying, how racism and anti-racism are opposites, and simply being not racist isn't even a part of a conversation because it does nothing, and it just excludes a person out of the problem. A community of people who have been affected by racism and social injustice and can be anti-racist and fight racism together. This is why the CYCSF and Kendi present strong factors that oppose the effects of racism and help people who have been through the racism to make a change for the future and the community. Coming together as one is the only option, and working together helps create a change.